What's up? What's up? We are in the building. We are live. Thank you to everybody who's in the building. Let me hold up. Okay, yeah. I am official. There's it. There we go. So I am official. What's up, everybody? Shout out to everybody in the building. Whether you're catching it live or you're catching it after it's uploaded, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the like button as you make your way on in. And with that said, let's get ready to go. Trying to locate my intro. Hold up. I do this every morning. I can't find the intro. Can't start the show. Acting like a beta. That was completely unnecessary. All right, let's go.
Peace, folks. This is X from TPOT Media. Open your mind and wake your black ass up. You know what time it is. Hit that damn like button as you make your way in the door. Grab a seat, settle in, get ready. It's the Grown Man Hour with your host, my man, Bernard Riley.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Mumia Obsidian Ali. You know who I am. I need no introduction, right? And you're listening to the Grown Man Hour with my man Bernard Riley, heard weekdays right here on YouTube. What do you think about that? How about that? Now let's get back on with the show. Thank you.
What's up, everybody? Excuse me. What's up, everybody? Winging it on another Saturday morning, but you know how we do. We are joined by Hood Servative. We just barely got a mic check in before the show even started. Let me hear you say something. Make sure we hear. Uh-oh. Actually, he told me he'd be back in 2 minutes. Oh, no, he muted. And he told me he'd be back in 2 minutes. So we'll see what happens. But no, he is here. He is here. He probably let me know in the back chat when he's back. So either way, shout out to the early bird squad, those of you that make it in bright and early before we even get things started. Do appreciate each and every one of you. Shout out to RM, says hit the like button on the way in. Absolutely. Christian Hutchinson in the building says it's going to be a barn burner. Perhaps. I am going to, and Hood Server don't even know this, but I'm going to be pulling out the he just dropped out from the back. We'll see what happens. I'm going to be pulling out some of the stuff that you showed me, that you sent me, the link about the Goldman Sachs article. Not an article, but you know, the money they're supposed to be given to black women or black female businesses or whatever the hell, that whole thing. what was interesting in that article is when they were stating the reasons why. That was an interesting part. So we're going to look over that. So they put out a lot of stats that's worth going over. So we will be we're going to be scanning that one. I threw that one in at the end. But shout out to we got EJ in the building, says morning BR, ready for a good show. Absolutely. Shout out to Mr. Excelsior. I think I said that right. Shout out to you. Shout out to Chris G, Uneducated Lame, Darth Low, Hoop Jargon, Joshua Swayer. I think I got everybody. All right. Think I got everybody. So without further ado, bring in Hood Servative on.
I think we should be good now.
Yeah, we good. Okay, good. Perfect. Welcome back. We're winging it, piecing this thing together. We were going to do a show, and I'm going to put you on the spot with this one because it was going to be interesting, but it was something that I didn't want to cover.
Oh, come on. You got to lean into it, man. That would have been so much fun. You're going to make me do it by myself, aren't you? That's what you really want.
Yeah.
You're going to watch me do it all alone.
I'll share it when you do it by yourself. But no, just give me the cliff notes of why you even wanted to talk about that. I don't even. Just why did you even want to talk about the Sperminator? Go ahead.
Because it's so funny. No, all right. A few days ago, shout out to Sub-Zero3639. He's a good guy over here. Me and Sub are cool. Like, we disagree on a little bit here.
Met him in person. I actually met him in person. Cool brother.
I'm pretty sure you did. Yeah. The Manosphere meetup. Yep. But no, Sub's a solid dude. But I disagreed on this one particular thing, and then it got me thinking. And then right after he did the stream, you know how sometimes weird stuff pops up in your feed? It's like almost after you thought about it, it pops up. It's like your phone reads your mind. And so he did a stream saying that basically Black men do have to carry some of the weight for like the single mother problem and the outcomes of Black families. I think it was titled like, why do Black men blame Black women for the Black family? Something to that effect. And so my position is this, though. As long as women have such an outsized control over the family unit as far as what they're allowed to do, what they're supported in doing as far as their decisions and all that, women can blow the family unit up at any moment and get full support. And my position is, as long as that's the situation, men have zero responsibility over women that they have no power over. And so after I was listening to him lay out his argument, and he and I were having a little spat, whatever, in the chat, because I disagree, obviously. But after that video, you know what popped up in my stream? The Sperminator. For some reason, the Sperminator popped up in one of my videos, like in my YouTube feed, and I was like, wow, this guy just sort of, he gives lie. I mean, he disproves this lie that men are somehow responsible for the decisions that women make with their family. Women can essentially form a family when she wants and how she wants, and you can't say anything. As a man, you can't stop it. You can't do nothing about it. And if you're not careful, you're going to have to pay for it. So that's my position, that until those matters change, men are not responsible for what women choose or not choose to do.
Okay, what somebody would argue there when you say and men can't do nothing about it, they will say, no, Hood Servative, you can do something about it by not impregnating that woman. What's your response to that?
Well, I accept that. That is the only thing you can do. All right, you can't win, so don't play. Is that your the solution? I don't know how you telling men you can't win, so don't play, makes men look bad. No, it's not us. It's you. It's them. If we can't win and we shouldn't play, how does that make us look bad?
Yeah. No. What I always say to that is, they're holding. They're in many ways holding more responsible men. They're holding the more responsible men to be responsible for the more reckless and irresponsible ones. Okay, I can't control with the guy that got 33 kids by 15 women or whatever the numbers are. I can't control what he does, nor can I control the women who let him bust nuts in them. I can't control that. so that's my problem when they say black men have to take responsibility for this. I'm like, I'm not the serial impregnator. All right. I got kids by one woman and I was married to her. That's not me. So you say black men need to take responsibility for it. Let's narrow down who you're talking about. That's out there causing all this havoc. Who's out there slinging community semen? There are some guys who, yeah, we can look at them and say, okay, they fucking up. They're part of this problem. The other thing with that is, and I kind of wish we would have covered it now, but I don't feel like talking about the Sperminator, but this does segue into something that I talked about on my last show when I had the women on the panel, and I brought up the question, do black women really want to get married? I say no, but why do y'all be capping where, the public perception is that they just love, loveless, hopeless romantics, that they just want love and family and want to be married and the picket fence and no, they don't. And all of them admitted in one way or another that black women really don't want to get married. Maybe in certain very specific circumstances on their terms, they do. But overall, no, they don't want to get married. Even Jackie Jack said when she was, out on a girls' trip, it was like 10 of her friends. They bunked up in a hotel, having a sleepover, and one of the girls was getting married in 3 weeks, and the other 9 girls that weren't getting married, she said they were all sitting there saying, "Ooh, marriage? No, I can't do that. No way. I can't be tied down. I can't have somebody checking me about where I'm going, what I'm doing, and I got to check with this person before I do something." It basically came down to they want their freedom. So me and Game Changer start probing and asking the question, why then when y'all go to when black women are asked in certain articles by The Root or Cosmos or whoever the hell, why do y'all tell this bullshit story about why y'all not getting married? Why do y'all blame it on black men when in y'all private moments y'all are saying, "Oh hell no, not me"? And then so my conclusion was, y'all can't, if y'all literally don't want to get married, and the stats to show that something like only 25% want to either be married or in a long-term relationship. If that's the case, they can never blame single motherhood, baby mamaism, baby daddyism on black men writ large. They can't. They can't, because they've pretty much made it clear that they don't want it. But they still are women, and they got their biological needs and urges and biological clock and eggs drying up. So they're gonna have kids. And that's where Mr. 33 kids by
33
and a half women come in.
30. No, you're talking about that one black dude. The Sperminator is up to around 100 women, about 80% black. That's what kills me about that story. Why is it the majority of the women he responds to, he helps? Because I love the way he describes it. These women, like you said, they have urges, they have desires, they want a baby. Like most women have a want for a baby. And the way he describes it, he helps them. He helps them have a baby. And so I'm looking at it like, listen, I gave you a gift. If I knock a woman up at this point in life, as you can call me stupid, you can say I'm reckless and irresponsible, but the simple fact is she wanted it, and I gave her a gift that she wanted.
Yeah, so that might have been an interesting topic. When I just saw Sperminator, I just was like, man, I ain't talking about that dude. No, I thought it was going to turn into one of those shows, and it had the potential of doing that, where it just looked like we complaining about black women, the ones that, have this affinity for white men, and I don't care to talk about that.
I didn't want to go too far in the racial direction. I think it's an interesting thing because, like, why is it so many black women? He's not like advertising directly to black women. Black women are seeking him out, and I think it kind of, this is really where I wanted to go with it outside of the racial stuff, because it's obvious, it's on the surface. I'm going to go deeper than the surface. Is this the model of a family that women really want? Is this the family model black women really want? Just a sperm and a possible paycheck? Because some of those women broke the contract and went and sued them for child support after the deal.
Yep.
So is this the family unit you really want? A happy beta sperm donor who will give you money?
Yes. Yep. There it is. There it is. That's... I actually got some content coming up on that, on this whole, family is family, and all forms of family are, accepted and should be looked at. You can't put family into a box of what you think a family is. And when you read between the lines, what they're really saying is, yes, rather it's the single mother with a roaming in and out father, single mother with a sporadic live-in boyfriend, single mother living with the grandmama and TT Nim, they all under one roof, single mother in a lesbian relationship. Either way it goes, it's basically a single the kids belong to that mom, and the men essentially are convenient or inconvenient sperm donors. And that's the matriarchal gynocratic culture in society that you see them actually pushing for when you read their articles. When you read the part that we got Black Lives Matter to take off their website, when you read that's the society they're pushing for. That's what they want.
One last thing about the Sperminator that just it was a personal thing for me. It cracked me up as I was watching the videos, and I know I sent you a handful of videos, and I watched all of them myself because I might just do this on my own. It's so bizarre.
Yeah, do it.
But there was one thing that really touched me in the movie, and it was the moment where he was in court. The motherfucker goes to the same court I do. I'm being the Sperminator, being the same family court. Dead ass, I knew it. Yo, he was standing in front of the Brooklyn family court, and I was like, wait, that looks I know this building. He was standing right in front of my family courthouse. I might have walked past him one day on one of my court appearances and didn't even know it. Like me and the Sperminator. How is it me and the Sperminator have the exact same problem, but he's just got more women?
That is an interesting point too, that he don't advertise specifically to black women. He just say, hey, I'm offering sperm if you need sperm. And they are those are the women that answer the call. That does say, damn it, that says a lot. That says a lot. It says one thing, the possibility, okay, they want a half white baby. But two, it says, what I think it says more is that obviously higher percentage of black women are more purposefully, intentfully becoming single mothers, because given the opportunity to just do it, fast, quick, cheap, easy, because he's not charging these women, right? Easy, right? Hello, you muted.
Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, these are all gifts, man. The only thing he charges is for airfare if he has to travel to you, because he's international with it. He didn't went to Israel and Australia. He's everywhere. This is like Johnny Appleseed, man.
God damn. All right, yeah, that's wild. So he's out there. He just put it out there. Hey, I'm offering free sperm, and yeah, the mere fact that you said 90% of the women that answer the call, or that he answers the call for, are black.
I would say 80. I would say roughly 80, but that's still super high.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's extremely high, especially for a minority in the country that he live in, assuming he's American. Yeah, that's extremely high. That a minority group is running up the score on that shit. But all right, let's let's dig into the thing that I charted out. And this semi-relates. This does semi-relate. This is something I stumbled across. Hold on. Something that I stumbled. Shout out to Kenneth Williams. Thank you for the super sticker. I do appreciate that. And what the hell, Vision TM? They should put him on child support. Why the hell would you say that?
He is on child support. That's the thing, man. They broke the contract. They lied on him and got him in there like he a bad daddy.
But why? I'm just trying to figure out. This is a black man. I mean, why? I mean, I understand that you don't give a damn about I guess some white dude. I get that, but why would you say they should? Emphasis on should put him on child support. No, I think if you replace should with could, they could put him on child support, and some of them did. Some of them did. But to say they should do it, nah, they shouldn't do that, because that wasn't part of the arrangement. They wanted his sperm. They They wanted his sperm. They got his sperm. They shouldn't go and make him pay for something that they willfully volunteered. I mean, that they sought him out. Please give me your sperm. I'm trying to have a baby.
Craigslist.
He obliged. He gave him the sperm. No, they shouldn't put him on child support. That's what they wanted.
But that's what happens, though. That's literally what happened.
No. He's not black. He's white. But I'm just saying. When I pointed out if you're a black man, I should have said if you're a man. Like, these are women who are seeking out sperm donors. They're seeking out sperm donors. They find a sperm donor. He delivers them sperm. Yes, that's fucked up to ask for his sperm, ask for sperm from a sperm donor, take the sperm, get the baby, and then go down there to the friend of the court to get child support for him. That's stupid. That's stupid. All right. Cool. Let's get into it. What I'm pulling up here is some interesting data. Now, this data isn't specifically about black women. It's almost like you gotta read between the lines to pull the black female stats out of this. You gotta read between the lines. All right. Hopefully, let me double check, make sure everybody can see. Oh shoot, I'm gonna have to zoom that in even more because that don't look as visible as I would have liked it to be. Let me put us down there.
I wanted to ask you something when you sent this to me yesterday. Is this from the Ipsos website? Because I know the story is coming from the Ipsos poll.
I don't even know what website it came from. It was some other YouTubers covering it. I think Tim Pool, and I screenshot it. So
yeah. No, I have the actual Ipsos website and the poll and everything. It's like a long article piece that they wrote. And so basically, think about it. They started at the Women's Leadership at King's College. It's a global institute for women's leadership at King's College London, who sponsored this study. So think about this. The Institute for Women's Leadership has discovered that men don't like women's leadership. I think it's just ironic.
Yeah. But see, okay, so here's the deal. This is what it's asking. It's saying gender roles and gender identity. The question on the table is agreement that feminism has done more harm than good by age, gender, and party. Okay. Younger democratic women disagree at a whopping 71%. Older democratic women say they disagree at 87%. So the older democratic women are really staunch down, true believers, hardcore in their feminism. Younger democratic women are at 71%. So they're not as they've changed a bit. They're not like their moms and grandmothers, I suppose, but they disagree with the question. Feminism has done more harm than good. Older democratic women disagree with that by 87%. Younger democratic women disagree by 71%. Now that's interesting. We're going to come back to that because black women vote majority Democrat. So that's why democratic women are just through the roof on this one. We're not all the way through the roof because this is where it gets weird. All right. When it comes to younger democratic men, now they agree at a higher rate, 46%. 46%, they agree that it has done more harm than good. Now, these are men who vote Democrat, but they're calling out, they say feminism has done, they agree that it's done more harm than good. Now, one thing worth pointing out, and when I heard this part right here, I stopped watching because I didn't want to get all caught up in their commentary on it. I wanted to make sure I had my own fresh commentary. So I quit watching, but they said that 46% of young Democratic men who agree with that statement said they threw it out there that a lot of those guys are probably incels. And that's why they agree with that statement. Now it gets okay, and this is at 41% that disagree. That little black portion is I don't know or don't know. So 41% disagree that it has done more harm than good. 46% agree that it has done more harm than good. With older Democratic men, now this is staggering. Older Democratic men disagree at even a higher percentage than the goddamn women. Shout out to Lil Big Nate, be calling out them Democratic men. The older Democratic men at 94%, they disagree with the notion that feminism has done more harm than good. Older Democratic men at 94%, they disagree. What's your thoughts and takeaway on this whole little data set before we even go down here to the bottom part and deal with Republican men and Republican women by age and all of that? What's just your thoughts on the Dems up here?
One, I think everyone in the Manosphere, whatever strain of Manosphere you happen to represent, I think everyone in the Manosphere should do a small victory lap. Just go in your backyard and do a couple of laps or something. Just, pat yourself on the back. We are moving the needle slightly. And
I think we ain't making no difference. We ain't making no difference. Nope.
I know. That's what they would have us. That's what they would have us think. I don't know that you could get these numbers without the Manosphere being in existence. If it was only the quote men's rights movement, just the way it had been before men got on the airwaves and started putting up stats and numbers and telling stories and all that, I don't know that we could have even moved the numbers this far. I think some of it is genuine dislike of the ideologies and the ideas and what people can see. Like, you can have a visceral reaction to like a slut march, or now it's Pride Month. We could never have Pride Month without feminism. And so like I was just listening to somebody else's stream and they were covering the DC mayor election. There's like a debate going on between the candidates running for mayor in DC. And while they were covering that, something else popped up on my phone. The schools in DC, Washington, DC, Chocolate City, right? This is Chocolate City. I've been wondering how long it would take to get here, but Washington, DC public schools are now having drag queen shows for Pride Month. In Washington, DC, Chocolate City is like 80% Black population here. And you can't have this without feminism. So there are a lot of people who are rejecting feminism on a visceral level because they see the connection. Like, feminism allowed this to happen. And then there's some people who are just they're tired of getting called cucks and betas and all that stuff. So they're quietly just dropping their allegiance. You make them drop their flag, so to speak.
Yep. They're tired of it. Beta. They tired.
Right. After a while, those guys be like, you know what? I ain't feminist no more.
Osama Abdul in the building says, literal, y'all. His kids are mixed. Can't make this up. I think he's talking about, we were talking about the Sperminator. Shout out to Osama Abdul. Do appreciate you. Now, an interesting part of it. Let's look at God damn. I'm blown away by that older Democratic men. Like, how are they higher than the women? Now, I can't explain that one. I can't explain older Democratic men higher than the women, because I like that literally means that the older Democratic women are like not fucking with feminism. They're fucking with feminism less than the older Democratic men. Like, can you make sense of that? I can't.
There was a time in America where that devotion to the woman, that Black love, the Motowns, we sing about devotion to our women more than maybe any other musical group, like R&B and all that stuff. It's almost about singing to women and singing about women and loving women and all that stuff. And I think there's a generation of Black men who are really, really female identified. And I don't mean that in like sexuality or whatever.
I know what you mean, but this is all men. So apparently, older Democratic men are female identified, I guess, too.
Well, I mean, you can't have the Black community be widely described as a matriarchy without the men buying into it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. But that is like that. That's still that 94%. That's staggering to me. That is just staggering to me.
Think about how insidious the messaging becomes, right? I was debating a little bit hip hop the other day, and I was talking about how like I can't defend rap anymore, even though I listen. I still like what I like, but I refuse to get into the fight. It's bad, fine, whatever. But the thing is, I was telling a story about like Jay-Z and how I realized something about the nature of where hip hop was going when Jay-Z told a story about his mom essentially being gay, and like he was like full supportive of it. And I was like, wow, my favorite rapper growing up is now waving the rainbow flag. That didn't sit well with me. And so what I realized is that the Black community is just a very matriarchal thing. And a lot of men are just, Biggie Smalls album, what was that one song, Juicy? What he literally said, get my daughter this college plan so she don't need no man. That's an older Democratic male mindset. And it's in every element of Black culture. So it's not surprising that older Democratic men think this way. I mean, look at what came out with hip hop. So these would be the next generation right after like the 70s guys and the boomers and all that, right? When hip hop came out, this is a part of what we were debating too. Hip hop came out and was like, nah, man, fuck these bitches. Like that's literally what happened after rappers started getting popular.
Hip hop did come out saying fuck these bitches, but they also, no, them dudes, they've made a lot of pandering music. It's like they, okay, true. I said this before, the Black Manosphere has kind of ruined Tupac's legacy, keep your head up and dear mama don't hit the same no more. So it's like they've made a lot of music that I think piggybacks on the synth music from the 80s in the early 90s. They made a lot of music that sort of piggybacks on that just in a different way. But somebody said synth pop. but no, I get what you're saying. And I guess if you extrapolate older Black Democrats to older white Democrats in their own little way, they're all for it. Hell, I just saw a video of a man. This is piggybacking on what you said about Biggie saying something about his daughter, not needing a man. This guy, I think his daughter graduated college or something, and her dad gave her a ring as a gift. It was a real cute little special moment or whatever. He even got down on one knee and gave her a diamond ring that she put on her right hand or whatever. Yeah, I guess it was cute. But it was the only problem I had with it is he said to her something. He said, "Remember, Daddy did it first. Daddy gave you a diamond ring first. That way, anybody else presents you a diamond ring, you're not impressed." So I was like, well, somebody get down on the knee, present her a diamond ring. I think she should be impressed. I think she ought to think it's a big deal. but no. So it is something
to that.
Go ahead.
I saw a different video. Well, not a video. It was a post or it was a tweet. But some guy, he was saying how he bought his girlfriend a iMac, like a MacBook or something. Like whatever the new Apple computer is, he bought her that because she just graduated college. So he brought his girlfriend that as a graduation gift. Apple stuff ain't cheap. And her dad turns around and buys her a Benz truck. And he's like, yo, Pops, what the
fuck? Yeah.
Like, how do you compete with that? And on the one hand, I think there's a certain element of natural order to that. I don't even want to fight against that too hard because it's too baked into the male ego. But on the other hand, it is a little bit of a challenge. Like you do have to drop the ball, literally. Like you have to just let it go somewhere. Like, no, I cannot be the man for you forever. Like you have to have a man, not your dad. You have to have a man. And it's a weird letting go, but that's what it requires.
Yeah, no, a lot of them are like that. They They don't want they don't want to give their daughter away. And I hate to do this because dudes who have that mentality, in many ways, they are good present fathers who do love their children. They love their daughter, and yeah, so that's a good thing. But some of them, they are teaching them, I would say, counterproductive stuff. I would say they're basically helping fuel the whole strong, independent, don't need no man ideology. That's what a lot of dads do end up doing. So that's there. That's the thing. But all right.
Well, Bernard, do you know how difficult it is to talk to your daughter about like what kind of man she should be with in the future? It's an awkward conversation. It must be had. I'm not saying shy away from it whatsoever. You kind of have to just nut up and get through it. But that's the deal.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm glad I don't have daughters, but yeah, I do. It's a tough one. It's a tough one, but I think a lot of men would. I'll even give some of them that good fathers with the best intentions are still doing some wrong shit, in my opinion. But anyway, agreement. Okay, so the question on the table, just reading it again if anybody just made it in. Agreement that feminism has done more harm than good by age, gender, and party. We talked about younger Democratic women, older Democratic women, younger Democratic men, older Democratic men. We were talking about how we're shocked. Well, I'm shocked. Hood Servative is not as shocked as me, but I'm shocked that 94% of older Democratic men disagree with the notion that feminism has done more harm than good. The younger Democratic men, be foreshadowing the Democratic Party changing in the future. There's 46% of them agree that it's done more harm than good. And of course, over here with the women's and Black women vote Democrat at the highest rate of anybody on Earth in the history of Earth. Older Democratic women are at 87%, and younger Democratic women are even down at the 71% level. So that's interesting. I mean, that 71% is high, but that's still relatively low. That's relatively low. But so moving down, younger Republican women. Now this is where it gets interesting, because younger Republican women, we know ain't no Black women over here. These are the women who voted for the pussy grabber in chief, and they let me make sure I'm getting it right. They agree at a 52% rate. The Republican women agree at a 52% rate that feminism has done more harm than good. And even the older Republican women agree at roughly the same rate, at 51%, that feminism has done more harm than good. They agree at a 52% rate and 51% rate with younger Republican women and older Republican women. Now, with the younger Republican men, it is at 62% agree with that statement, 31% disagree. With the older Republican men, we got, again, them old niggas. 42%. The stats are always the worst for the older men. That is an interesting phenomenon.
I think there's another practical reality. The older Democratic and Republican men were sold an idea. They were sold a vision of feminism and what was possible. We were all going to be equal partners and it would be wonderful. And then the younger Democratic men and younger Republican men, they lived the dream. And it wasn't a dream. It was a nightmare. It was rough. You had to watch your mom date guys and all this stuff. You had to watch your dad leave the house and curse your mom out on the way out and talk about that dude she was fucking and all that stuff. You had to see this stuff as a young man. And so it changes your view. It's like the ideal versus the reality. And so that's what you're looking at here. The older men, they had the ideal of feminism, whereas the younger men, they have the reality of feminism. So, for example, in older music, you will never hear Black men singing against their women, or especially against their mothers, right? But I remember when Eminem came out, I'm Sorry Mama. Woo! You know how revolutionary that was? Not only for it to be a pop song, a popular song, broadly speaking, but for Black audiences to be hearing that. And I remember listening to Black people like, this white boy out his fucking mind. Like, this white boy crazy. But it was a quietly shared sentiment among a lot of black men too, because as time went on, now you got this weird emo rap coming out. There is a new wave of like young men singing or just making emotional music, talking about, you know, life experiences with women and their moms, and all it's quiet, you know, underground stuff, but it's a new phenomena of men just like emotionally rebelling or publicly rebelling against female leadership. And I think that's what you're seeing here, is the ideal versus the reality.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. I won't even add to that. No, that was you definitely knocked that one out of the park. The other question that they put on the table here: agreement that men should be represented and valued more in our society. And they answer, do the same way, just like the last one, by age, race, and gender. By age, gender, and party, not race. Age, gender, and party. Okay, the question: agreement that men should be represented and valued more in our society. Younger Democratic women disagree with that statement at 56%. Older Democratic women disagree with that statement at 64%. We got younger Democratic men agree with that statement at 60%. They agree with the statement that men should be represented and valued more in our society by age and gender. And here go them old niggas. They disagree with that statement by 63%. So the older Democratic men are like, no, they're good. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. So older Democratic men, they disagree with that statement at 63%, whereas younger Democratic men agree with that statement at 60%. And again, what I'm seeing here is the Democratic Party changing from within. I see it changing from within. I think
It's
the
not
women.
Changing. I don't know if it's changing per se. I think they're just losing the men. The party ideology isn't changing. They're losing the men. That's really what's happening.
Yeah, but okay. Well, it's changing in the sense that they have people still voting Democrat who are not toting the party line. That's what I'm saying. So just extrapolate it. If everything stays exactly the same in those older Democratic men who disagree at 63%, when they die, and those younger Democratic men who agree with that statement at 60% are still alive, the Democratic Party they're either going to be changed,
They have to leave.
Or I was just about to say they're going to leave. They're going to lose. They're either going to change or they're going to lose numbers. Because I don't think.
I'm going to tell you.
Hold on, wait, real quick. Those younger Democratic men, you kind of alluded to this. Those younger Democratic men, I think they're in a place where they might be still idealistic, but they're having internal battles. Eventually, they're going to live life. They're going to have children. They're going to go through divorce court. They're going to have some issues, and then they're going to realize that, oh, I've been standing on the wrong side here, and then that's where they're gonna jump down to this bottom portion of the scale right here that we're going to get to in a little bit. But go ahead. Hello.
Yeah, no, I was saying that they have to leave. I don't think there's any way forward but leaving, and for two reasons. One, as what you're seeing in those first two circles, younger Democratic women and younger Democratic men, right? That's a gender war. You essentially have younger Democratic women openly saying we don't want men to participate. That's literally what this question is about.
Oh shit! Yeah.
So
God damn, the younger, hold on. You just unearthed something. Older Democratic women and older Democratic men agree. They're at 64%. They disagree with that statement at 64%. And the older Democratic men disagree with that statement at 63%. The younger Democratic women and the younger Democratic men, look at that 60% agree with the statement, And with the women, 56% disagree with the statement. You are absolutely right. That is a gender war. They're completely 100% divided on that. Talking about the younger Democratic women and younger Democratic men. Go ahead. Good catch, though.
So now if you accept that as reality, the younger Democratic men are isolated. And being an isolated group, now you're the quote minority, right? You're going to get abused. You're going to get forced into things you don't care for, and you're going to get just generally maligned as you know, you're not in the right. You're not of our circle. You know what I'm saying? So the safe place for them to go is on the right. And this is the kind of stuff I joke about casually on my own channel. You know, I'll hold up a picture of, like, you know, Kyle Rittenhouse with his gun or some young black girl singing the national anthem. And I'm like, listen, you're going to have to pick. What side are you going to be on? The guys with the guns or the girls singing?
Why young black girls singing a national anthem?
Because black politics is black women. Black politics is black women. And where do black men fit in with that?
Okay, got you. All right. I mean,
you're gonna have
black girls singing the national anthem. That could be benign.
I'm referencing the literal image that I have side by side. So it's a background to it. You kind of have to be in the moment to kind of get the joke better. But there's an image. Well, I want to juxtapose the two realities, because that's the situation. All right, for the young Democratic men, all those three groups, the young Democratic women, older Democrat women, and older Democrat men, they have one cudgel to keep young Democrat men in line: racism. As long as we keep telling young Democrat men that the world hates you and that you can't succeed without us, you have to fall in line with us and fight racism, the young Democrat men, that's all they're going to get sold. So they either have to fall in line with the racism argument, and then once you fall in line with that, you got to let the women lead you. That's the trick. That's the trick. Once you accept the racism gambit, now you have to let the women lead you, because the men have failed all this time, and the white man be kicking the black man ass, and all the arguments start to get used against you as soon as you accept the racism gambit. And so now, young Democrat men, you're left with a choice. Do I take a chance with the side that they've been saying is racist and hates me, or do I let the women lead me? That's why I hold up the image of the young black girl singing the national anthem, or Kyle Rittenhouse. Which way, black man?
Wow. Aegon the First in the building says, our fathers raising independent, I don't need no man daughters. Some of them are causing as much damage as the single moms raising son husbands. Well, okay, on numbers wise, on the ultimate scale, it's more single mothers doing the latter than what our fathers raising the strong independent daughters. I talked about the fathers raising the strong independent daughters. I called them good dads who love their daughters, who care, but their love and their care, or perhaps even their protective instinct, kicks in, and they go the route of teaching their daughter to be able to survive without a man, and implanting the independent mindset in them, to where, because they don't want her to go through any problems. They don't want her to have a man, have somebody potentially controlling her life, or potentially being abusive, or potentially being that. And a lot of that is because men buy into the abuse narrative. But over here, we break down the stats like we did on the last show, and showed and proved that men just beating women asses in relationships is not what you thought it was. So again, it's a protective instinct to try to make sure you raise your daughter to be able to survive in this world without a man, because you're trying to protect her from potential problems that can come from a man. But you're causing a bigger problem. You're essentially raising a woman who's going to be raising kids probably by herself, because you're teaching her how to survive without a man, but she ain't gonna stop fucking. So she's going to get pregnant by somebody, but she's not going to need the person she's pregnant by. She's not going to, potentially, a lot of them don't even want the person that they're pregnant by. And when they on that, I'm independent, I'm surviving without a man, then they're not even picking a man based off long-term meaningful attributes that would foster a better functioning situation for the man, woman, and child. They get to the point to where, hey, they picking men based off who get the pussy wet at that point, because I can pay my own, I can take care of myself. So
let me jump in right there, please.
That's what the loving, caring, father is. That's what he's raising his daughter to be, to basically just, to be fucking like a man. Really, I mean, he don't know that, but
there you go. There you go.
Yeah,
bro. Yeah. Listen, as this is why I say, I joke about it. I say the word misogyny tongue in cheek, but there's a cold, hard, brutal logic to what I'm describing here. And from the male perspective, the same way we as men have to repress our wildest, worst elements of masculinity, all the excesses that masculinity encourage, we have to repress that in order to function as a cooperative society, so that we can build and progress and have longer lasting things, have a society that can last indefinitely and survive the turmoils of nature and life and war and politics, right? So as men, we understand that about ourselves as men, right? One, I don't think women have that limiting principle. And two, I think that once men have abandoned their duty to limit women's excesses the way we limit our own excesses, we get this situation now. When you raise your daughter in that situation the way you just described, where essentially no matter how you describe it, she's going to be out there fucking like a man, that kills your society in the long run.
Yep.
Men aren't really supposed to be out there slinging dick willy-nilly and skeeting up. We can't be out here skeeting up the place willy-nilly. So why is it okay for women to be out here just doing it willy-nilly? The argument, it doesn't hold in the long run. So you have to just control. Both sides need to be under control. But the problem is women don't have the limiting principle. And so you have to, as a man, kind of like, listen, I think I have to keep an eye on the male order, that you have to sort of disregard the female desires if you want things to work properly. And that's really, from the father perspective, that's the hard part. You have to disregard your daughter's female desires. Her petty desires don't stack up into what must be done.
Charles Merchant in the building says this Ahab, am I saying that right? Father is trying to protect his daughter from her own choices, which should never had, I think you mean, which she should never had in the first place. Thank you for the super chat. Do appreciate that, Charles Merchant. Shout out to E Capone in the building, always coming through, dropping 5 on it. Says I got 5 on it. Shout out to you. Face Facts in the building says there's a lot of child support out here for a group of women that don't that don't need a man. Yeah. Yeah, they don't need a man. No, they just need the child support and government assistance that comes from a man. All right. Let's see. So, all right. Where were we at here? Okay, we talked about how you unearthed a gender war in the data. That was pretty damn cool. I'm not well.
No,
awesome that you caught it.
There will be increasing pressure on young Democrat men, and you're seeing it on the number now. The young Democrat men are going to have to fold or flee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're going to have to they're going to have to leave or submit. One or the other. One or the other. But the question that's asked in this for these charts here, agreement that men should be represented and valued more in our society by age, gender, party. And like I said before, the younger Democratic women, 56% disagree with that statement. And younger Democratic men right here, 60% agree with that statement. So it's major disagreement between younger Democratic women and younger Democratic men on that one. Now on the Republican end, to the question, agreement that men should be represented and valued more in our society, younger Republican women agree. Which party is doing it right? The one that got the agreeable women, or the one that got the disagreeable disagreeable women? Which one is doing it right?
Mm-hmm.
So so the younger Republican women agree with that statement at 51%. Now they do got 40% disagreeable. Okay. Older Republican women, again, the older Republican women and younger Republican women, they in lockstep. Is this 52%, 51% agree here? 51. Okay, hold on. Let me make sure I don't got. Okay, nothing's blocking it. And I just saw a super chat come in. I think I just saw that. That's how I always lose. Wait, no, I didn't see that. Okay, my bad. Yeah, my bad. I'm seeing things on the. I've got two screens up. My bad. Okay, so the older Republican women and the younger Republican women, they agree. They had 51%, 52% to the question, and with the younger Republican men and the older Republican men, they're also in agreement. 65% of the younger Republican men agree with that statement. 63% of the older Republican men agree with that statement. It's amazing that there's a level of cohesiveness amongst the Republican Party, but in the Democratic Party, amongst the young folks, we see an all-out gender war. Like this is like we're seeing a full-blown culture war right here. Yeah, like that's amazing.
Let me make it even more visceral for you. One, have you heard any of those statistics that say there tend to be slightly, or even just on average, better looking women on the right versus the left?
I've heard people say that. I haven't seen it. I mean, I don't know how you produce data on that, but I've heard people say that. And eyeballing it from afar. And this could be deliberate. Okay, let me just give a little backstory. Back when I was very liberal and voted Democrat and everything, I used to say, you know what, Fox News is doing that on purpose. They're putting a lot of good-looking women in short skirts with their arms out and their legs out. The guy is in a goddamn 5-piece suit. They don't even look like they're in the same climate as the women on the same show as them. But they got so I used to say that they ain't doing that shit on purpose, just trying to make sure they put attractive women on camera. You know, I thought it was deliberate, but it does happen to be the case that yes, Candace Owens, what's that one chick, the blonde chick that I forgot her name, younger blonde chick. She made that statement that made her fall out of favor for like 1 week.
Southern.
No,
was it Lauren Southern?
No, she's not on Fox News. She's shit. I forgot her name. Okay, the chat room know who I'm talking about. She made that one statement about men are trash or something like that. And I remember, y'all know Terry. No. Tori. No.
Tommy Lauren.
Yeah, the Tommy Laurens of the world. Yeah, Tommy Lauren, Candace Owens, and a lot of the Fox News chicks. I thought it. You know, I like to say it's coincidence that they look better, and not even coincidence, deliberate, because they put their more attractive ones out there. But again, the Tommy Lauren, Candace Owens, Stacey Dashes of the world. Yes, they look better than Brittany Cooper and
it's always deeper than you think, Bernard. Let me tell you why. Okay.
I know the reason why. Hold on, wait. I know the reason why. I just was trying to point out that I used to think that it was being done deliberately because they understood marketing and branding. Let's put hot women up here saying the shit that we want to hear. Anyway, go ahead.
All right. So why doesn't the left put hot women up there saying the stuff you want to hear?
Very good point.
No, there's a literal reason for that. You know why? Well, one in the black sense, you know, African American vernacular English, we don't respect the European beauty standards. Don't judge us by the European beauty standards, right? So that's on the one hand. But generally, across the left in general, there is a rejection of traditional beauty as a concept. That is why you will see the actual promotion of fat women as equally, if not more beautiful than traditionally beautiful women. They have to include fat women in the Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition for no other reason than big is beautiful because we tell you it's beautiful.
Yeah, I agree. I agree that go ahead.
When you have two different sides, one side accepts natural beauty and the other side is at war with natural beauty, where are all the beautiful women going to naturally reside? And then the men who want beautiful women, hint hint, younger Democratic men, where do you think those men are going to aim their sights?
Yeah.
And not only are they generally more attractive, they are also more receptive on a personal level. They tend to share your ideas. That's what you're seeing in these numbers. Think of these women, think of these little circles as like nightclubs. Which club you want to party at? The club with the ugly girls who don't even want you to talk to them, or the club with the pretty girls who kind of they like the idea of men already. Soon as you walk in the door, they're like, "Oh, guys, hey, what's up? What club are we going to tonight?"
Yeah, I see. I know. I know where I'm going. But no, it's amazing. It's amazing that older, younger, male, female Republicans are in agreement across the board. That is fascinating. With the Democrats, we're seeing the goddamn gender war in the stats, and I'm very eager and interested to see how that's going to play out. Going forward. You got to be patient. I'm thinking 10 years at least, 20 years at most. That's going to be a sea change. It's going to be a paradigm shift. I mean, it's hard. I mean, we're looking at a paradigm shift, but it's going to be. They're going to hop the fence. they're going to hop the fence. It's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. But no, definitely good stuff, man. Definitely excellent analysis on that. Kamisha Monica, wow, that's a hell of a name. He said, "We don't need useless men. We need good ones. Sometimes the ones you meet are raised by bad parents, vice versa. The programming is sick." Okay. If you're talking about who I see, who is she referring to as the useless men? That's what I'm just curious. I mean, if she's talking about, I don't know if she's talking about the Democratic men, then we and her, the younger Democratic men. No, I mean the older Democratic men would probably be in agreement. See, I don't know what she's talking about, so I can't even respond to that. But thank you for the super chat.
I think that is a weird. It's just a weird paradox. Yeah, it's like a paradox of the leftist dating environment. I shouldn't say leftist, but the dating environment of the people who tend to have these beliefs that we're looking at on the screen here. The women are going to be increasingly left with men that they themselves don't consider men.
Yeah.
And that's how do you, I don't know how to square that circle for you. I have no pills. I have nothing to offer you. So, good luck with that, ladies.
There, I said it in the building, says, blacks, Republican blacks tend toward traditional values. Them blacks are divided. Black women want a new family model. Black men don't. Thus, dysfunction. Right. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Shout out to everybody in the building, everybody who's been supporting the stream. Make sure y'all hit the like button. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel. Do appreciate everybody that's in the building. One more thing. Well, I got two more things that I'm gonna pull up and pull out here. Let me do this really quick. I'm going to pull a video that's sort of related. That's funny. I mentioned Brittany Cooper. She's actually in this video that I'm pulling out. And this is about Black feminism. So give me a second. Give me a second.
I actually used part of this clip on my show. There's a certain line she says, and I like had to cut just her head out and use it on a different image. And it's something she says about like patriarchy, like basically denying Black men access to white patriarchy. And I'm like, no, that's what I want. Get out of my way.
Yeah. Oh man, let's get into it. Let's get into it.
Black feminism helps you think about what happens when you're the most powerful chick in the game, you're married to one of the most powerful dudes, and he still won't treat you right because he is intimidated by your power.
Right there, she was referring to Jay-Z and Beyonce. That's what she was referencing right there. She's saying Jay-Z cheated on Beyonce because he was intimidated by her power. It's like they just connect weird dots. They connect weird dots. He cheated on her because he could, because he's fucking Jay-Z. Ain't got nothing to do with Beyonce being intimidated by Beyonce's power. All right.
You describe your relationship with white feminists as complicated. What do you think needs to happen for feminism to be a multiracial prospect?
Yeah, so I want to be real clear that this is not a book where I'm asking Black girls to play nice with white girls. What I want is for Black
Eloquent Rage, Black feminist discovers hers. Okay.
Black women to understand patriarchy affects us too, though. We can't have any kind of Black liberation if people aren't talking about Black women and girls. And that doesn't have anything to do with what Becky is or is not doing or saying.
So no.
Well, okay. What do you think about this whole thing? It's like Black women, it's like they in cahoots with white feminists, but they got serious beef with white feminists because they view white women as being married to white men. And if white men are the enemy that's holding them back, the people that they lock in arms and we shall over singing, we shall overcome with, is married to the enemy. So it's like a situation where you're with the enemy, so you're not really with us, but and then there's an element or aspect of there's an element or aspect of you're not really with us because you're with them, or is it a we want to be with them too, or we want what they got, but we want it by ourselves without our man, but you understand that you need it from your man, but you still want a little bit of power individually, but you're still going to attach yourself to your man, and we don't like that, because if you really about it, you'll do it without your man like us. So y'all ain't really about that action. So that's sort of their little beef they got with the white feminists that they lock arms and sing "We Shall Overcome" with. So go ahead. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, there is that. I would say that generally speaking, women hate each other until there's a man or a group of men that they have to hate. And so that's kind of how it is. It's a natural just disposition. Women don't really like each other all that much sometimes anyway. So it is what it is. But then there's that weird racial element. And I think what you're describing is more organic than even like some kind of like feminism is ideological. You have to sort of be trained into it. But with like a lot of the white girls, they come from a place where it's like the suburban, general white suburban experience versus like the urban Black experience, where a lot of the Black girls are kind of raised in certain feminist ideas from jump, where you didn't have a dad in the house and you didn't really have strong men that you sort of had to respect their authority and that kind of deal. Whereas it's like, if you're a white girl coming from the suburbs, there's still a little bit of that in the air. And so that just creates a different type of person and even a different type of feminist maybe. And there's something really like extra aggressive about Black feminism. That's why they went to create their own thing, Black womanism, essentially, because they wanted to go even further than the white girls did. Which it's a weird thing. I don't even want. I don't claim to understand all of it, but there is a weird beef between the Black women and the white women, and essentially Black women are trying to fight for dominance of feminism on the whole. And I don't know if that's really going to stand. So I predict conflict in the future. I'm waiting for the day that the Black women and the white women just openly hate each other like they used to.
It was a moment. I think we played the clip, or either you sent me the clip, or we didn't get to it. But it was a moment where a Black woman was like kind of going in, talking about white women. It was they all were feminists, but she was just going in hard, talking about she was going in hard talking about white women, and the white women, they completely yielded. They had to yield because they didn't want to, they didn't want to come off as racist or nothing, but they had to yield because she was, I guess, in her own way, she was calling them out on how they ain't really about that life. They ain't really about that life. They attach to the one that's oppressing everybody, so and I could see it as like the white women, it's like they was fixing their mouth to say something, but they didn't. They fell back. But I do think we're going to see that battle play out between Black feminists and white feminists. But anyway,
and one more thing. See, because Black women in particular, the Black feminists are being so aggressive on the race thing, they're going to force white feminists to accept their whiteness, and it's going to be a whole new game.
Yeah.
Once white women drop white guilt, all hell's going to break loose.
Yeah. White guilt and racism is the only thing binding them together. That's true. All right.
No movement with Becky.
Look, I think that we got to have strategic solidarities with
no movement with
to do with what Becky is or is not doing or saying.
So no movement with Becky.
Look, I think that we got to have strategic solidarities with white women, the Me Too movement, both.
Okay, now that strategic solidarity, god damn. Sorry. I'm just looking at them craters. But okay, when you say gotta have strategic
solidarity. The Stragosaurus on the screen. What the?
You know what's just funny? I didn't want to look at them craters, so I was like, let me just change it a little bit. Oh, goddamn, it ain't get better. We just went from
I'm used to the other one. No, Brittany's better. Brittany's a softer pillow. No, that's like a rock versus a pillow. I'm not laying my head on no rock. All right, Brittany Cooper versus what's her face right here? Brittany all day.
You're taking Brittany Cooper over Toronto.
I take the rock over the pillow. No, I take the pillow over the rock, man. You can't lay your head on the rock. That's it. That face is like a rock. And it's not just any regular rock. You ever see like a volcanic rock with all the little pockmarks in it? Like this rock was made out of fire, bro. Like, no, I can't lay my head on this rock.
All right. I forgot what point I wanted to make, but I know I was basically just about to say, she said strategic alliance. She's basically saying, we don't really fuck with y'all. We just, we just, this is just strategic. And I can't knock that. I can't knock that as far as, trying to gain some type of political or social power and, making these strategic alliances where you can and where you need to, Black men do need to understand, Black men understood that we would get more in the Republican Party and make a strategic alliance with the people that that get charged up with being the racist Republicans. We will make some strategic alliances, but anyway, that's a whole nother thing right there. And I don't even think brothers even ready to, well, I mean, in this space, yeah, they are, but overall, by and large, most Black men, no, they ain't going with that. They're going to get in line behind this and this before they go make a strategic alliance with the Republican Party. So no.
In terms of Toronto,
one thing real quick. Why is the Black man not allowed strategic alliance in this time of open war against him? We just saw the numbers the majority of the Democratic left want the majority of men to pipe down and shut up.
Yeah.
That is literally what those numbers mean. So in this time of open war against your position and your desires as a man in this country, why are you not allowed strategic alliance for your own personal goals?
Yeah. No, that's absolutely right. That is absolutely right. But but that's right. They racist. That's what it'll come down to. That's what it will come down to. Shout out to Theo Waff in the building, says a rock which bites and attacks you. Shout out to Theo in the building. Do appreciate the super chat. Shout out to Doberman in the building, says is more wetter than the craters, fat and weave. Yo, okay. All right. Thank you for the super chat. Little Big Nate in the building. Shout out to Nate Dog 74.
Yeah, the chat is going crazy.
Yeah. I'm scrolling up, seeing some of the people talking about this.
Somebody call her igneous. I'm over here dying.
Yeah, man. I stopped doing the show for a second just to look at the chat. All right, let's get back into it. Oh man.
Strategic solidarities with white women, the Me Too movement, both in terms of Tarana Burke's work, but also in terms of what we see rich white women testifying?
It don't get talked about enough that when Tarana Burke started the Me Too, and prove me wrong on this. Tarana Burke started the Me Too movement talking about young black girls who was touched by their uncle. That's what she started it on. That's what Me Too was about. And then these bitches came and just mad because they can't get the movie deals they want because they didn't suck because they had to suck Harvey Weinstein's dick. Like that's like those were two different things that you had to choose between a role in a movie and Harvey Weinstein's dick. Those are two different things than speaking up for little girls who got touched by the uncle. Like I don't know if that get talked about enough. It's like that's one thing black women are kind of silent on. Like, hold on, you bitches are taking our shit and just making it because as sour grapes because you didn't get a movie role, but maybe you could have got a role if you sucked a dick, but you didn't suck the dick, but you're mad, or you did suck the dick and you probably still didn't get the role. I don't know, but it's so anyway. All right, my bad.
No, don't change this thing. No. Don't. Let's leave this image up because my mind is racing right now. All right. For one, she's like a token fat, ugly black girl.
Okay.
Like that, you are a literal token because that's what's being sold now is fat, unattractive black women as the black beauty standard. So boom, there you go. And then two, this image is just like a meme. Like we're all beautiful Hollywood actresses, and then Tawana Burke, me too. Like no, this is all wrong. Me too. No. I'm here like Eeyore.
Wait a minute. Okay. Shout out to Kerry Washington, a beautiful black woman in the picture. Okay, shout her out. And I'm not saying that in the way that they normally say beautiful black woman. I mean, no, she's a woman and she's actually beautiful and she happens to be black. Shout out to her. But I'm laughing so hard because when you said me too, why did you make your voice me too? Why did you make it extra deep when you said me too?
Because that's what the image looks like. One of these things is not like the other. I feel like I'm back in elementary school. They really try to test my gangster right now. Like, all right, which one of these things is not like the other and why?
Oh, man. You killed me with that. Me too. It's like he had a monster voice.
This is what this
Like
picture looks like, though.
troll
That's
came
literally
up from
how
under
the
the bridge.
picture.
Me
Right,
too.
right. But look at this picture. That's how she coming on to this picture. All these beautiful, young, thin Hollywood actresses, and then me too. It's not me. It's not me. I'm just looking at the world. This is what the world is.
All right. It was more to talk about here. I don't even, let me go. Okay, shit. Okay.
Both in terms of Tarana Burke's work, but also in terms of what we see rich white women testifying to, tells us that even when you have money and power.
She slipped in a subtle jab. She did make that distinction I'm talking about. She said Tarana Burke's work and the stuff that these rich white women are talking about. She did slip that in.
What we see rich white women testifying to tells us that even when you have money and power and beauty, you are still subject to the violent whims of men. And that means that there is a cause for solidarity and struggle together. But that doesn't mean that we can't hold white women accountable for their racism and that we can't have some terms to negotiate in terms of what will bring us to the table.
That was code talk for over 50% of y'all voted for Trump. Over 50% of y'all voted with your man. Over 50% of y'all voted with your husband. Over 50% of y'all actually follow your man. That's what that was code talk for. Not their racism, but go ahead.
Remember, and it's all a power game. You never take power out of your equation if you want to understand like why things are happening, why different groups of people are doing what they do and saying what they say. Try to add power to the algorithm somehow and see if it changes it in some way, because what they're talking about, look, if you look at it like this, the group of women who ain't got no man trying to shame the group of women who actually got husbands in solid relationships for having husbands in solid relationships. Right now, there's a racial dynamic built into it already, because that's literally how she's playing the game. Where does that leave you, black men? You got black women trying to shame women for not having men. What are black men supposed to feel about that? How are we supposed to take that in?
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about the gender empathy gap, or black men caring about black women beyond their mothers, daughters, sisters.
Patriarchy kills everybody. It doesn't just kill black women. So much of black women's political behavior in this country is about helping the world to see and humanize black men, and to say that we understand the ways that systems harm them. We don't see black men sort of zooming in the same way and thinking really specifically about the way that systems harm black women or constrict our sense of possibility, and more so than them not only thinking about it, but having a sense of commitment to helping us change it.
Stop right there for a minute.
Yep.
And that was the clip I was about to talk about too. But all right, before she even says this, that whole deal, ask yourself really, what black male interest do black women actually fight for? If you take away racism, right, and really get down to the granular, what black male interests, like what things that black men say they want, like male specific things, not race specific, right? Just what male oriented goals do black men express, and how do black women express a desire to help those goals?
They don't. Part of the problem is, excuse me. Part of the problem is black male goals more or less line up with black female goals. Or as far as, look at how most black men vote. Look at what most black men are for. I'm not talking about in this space. I'm talking about in general. That's why I cringed and side-eyed the hell out of her saying that black men, I forgot exactly how she worded it, but basically she was saying that we don't support what they do. I mean, the black men voting Democrat to the degree that they do, that is supporting black women. Like that was really the damn ad campaign that was put out there in the Democratic Party. Let's back up our women. Let's support our women. Let's get behind and follow our women. Like that was the campaign. That was the ad campaign that they put out during the 2020 election. So when it comes to what black women support, when it comes to black men, and we've pointed this out a million times, they support dead black men after they get shot by a white person. They get shot by the police. Black women are very supportive of the the person, the black man, after he's been shot by the police, and they're I don't know. See, and you put out the caveat about other than racism. I think. What caveat did you put out there? I was trying. Reword the question. Put the question out there again.
Let me restate it like this. You know what I've been saying, and I want to keep saying this. Shout out to Umar Johnson. You have to start out just repeating yourself ad infinitum. But black politics is only three things, variations of three things. I'm gonna help your baby mama out. I'm gonna get your cousin out of jail, and I'm gonna fight racism. Now that whole dead black men thing, that's technically a version of get your cousin out of jail, because once you're dead. But the only thing we can do is make the legal system a little bit softer on the next guy. So dead black men is still a version of get your cousin out of jail. It's just an ultimate version. But the argument stands: black politics is only those three things, and within those three things, they only offer getting your cousin out of jail. So that's really what black politics offers you as a black man.
Yeah, that is the extent of black politics. I agree 100% from black male perspective. That's it, and that's why I side-eyed Trump, because that he leaned into that. He leaned out. That was his way of appealing to black voters. Look, let me do an ad. Let me run a few ads, of a guy that I got out of jail. Like, that was it. So that's how politics view us across the board.
Trump got a lot of dudes out of jail.
Yeah.
Trump was he was black for a minute. He was out there being as black as he could be.
He did, and I commend him for that. I applaud that. But at the same time, it's like that's the only way they know how to communicate to black men when it comes to politics, is saying that, like you say, we got your cousin out. Nuck just got out of jail. That's what black politics is. And so, but everything else is centered around towards, as far as black goes, is centered around towards black women, is helping out, single mothers, basically helping out the women, making them more comfortable while being single mothers, while statistically raising the person who's going to end up in jail, but we're going to help get them out. Like, that's black politics. That's black politics. But yeah. She said something about patriarchy. Hold on, let me back that up.
Let it play right there.
Okay. Oh, we already here? Okay, fine.
Aspiring to be patriarchs like what white men have, since a commitment to helping us change it. Aspiring to be patriarchs like what white men have, that isn't freedom. That isn't going to help anybody. It's certainly not going to help black people. Commit to each other.
Oh, man. Go ahead.
That if white patriarchy means you get to be the head of your house as a man, why should I be denied that as a black man? Like, I take really like personal offense to the whole notion, because it's very threatening on a base level. It's like you're denying me something very, very basic.
Mm-hmm.
And you're doing it on a grudge. One, the black man has never, ever, ever in this country in America, where black is a thing, the black man has never, ever, ever wielded the power over black women that they accuse us of. Well, we haven't abused black women at the levels that we've been accused of abusing black women. And frankly, like I was listening to somebody the other day, shout out to Amiri. I was listening to him talk about Mr. from The Color Purple, and it was this whole long diatribe about how dudes act like Mr. and how Mr. did this and Mr. did that. And you know, and I'm joking like, yo, Mr. was not the bad guy. Mr. was a good black man. Mr. ain't do nothing wrong. You had to be there. Cause like, no, if you think about if you think about the reality of it, and I was dead real. Cause look, this is a black man in like Jim Crow, before Jim Crow even. This was just like post-slavery black people or something. It's like, this is when it was hard as hell to be a black man. Not only was he a black man, he was a black man that owned some stuff, all right? He was in charge of some stuff. He was a black man that actually had stuff. And, and you gonna try to slander this man's name because he didn't let the woman run his house the way they wanted to run that man's house. Shut up. No, Mr. was not a bad man. But anyway.
Hold on, real quick. Now, me and Game Changer was talking about this off the air. We had a conversation, and I was like, "Woo, we can't have this one on the air." But we did point out that Mr. and Harpo, they were high value men of the day. If you look at how much land they owned. You look at how
nobody want to talk about my man. You gotta put some respect on Mr. Name. Shut up. All y'all hoes tripping.
Like Game Changer broke it down, like how big that land was. Like it was a long distance from Mr.'s house all the way to Harpo's the juke joint. It was a long distance between those two places. And they owned that. They owned all that land, like Harpo's house, Mr.'s house, and then the juke joint all the way down. And they owned all that. Like they had it made.
Mr. was the equivalent of the fucking white man, and these bitches ever since the movie came out been denying my black ass the white man's patriarchy. No, I want Mr.'s patriarchy, you fat bitch.
All right. It's time to send this one to Patreon. Oh shit. All right, let's read some super chats. Kristen Hutchinson in the building. He says, my black male patriarch had 10K and my AMFIL had 50K to help me buy an investment property. My BW mother had you think you want to do that? Oh, wow. Wow. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that, man. You got me going right now, man. You got me going right now. Kamisha,
sorry, man. I had to let that off my chest, man. I've been holding on to that for a little while.
Yeah, I could tell. I could tell that one came from within. Everybody who's gonna clip this, I'll accept a cash app for the clip fee on this one. All right. Kamisha Monica in the building again. Thank you for the super chat. Do appreciate that. Says, what should black women do to help black men? What kind of support do they need? Maybe some were not taught. Advice. She's asking for advice on what black women can do to help black men. What's your thoughts on that? Do you have thoughts on that?
What should some black women do to help black men? What kind of support do they need? Maybe some were not taught advice. That's tricky. Well, it's not tricky. It's probably triggering. You know, like those old school Miss Manners, how to be a good housewife type of things. Those old articles and magazines, you know, Good Housekeeping from 1950 something. Read that. I'm not saying you have to do every single thing in there, but start in the old school and then, you know, try to adopt some of the ideas and attitudes from the women who actually did have marriages that lasted a long time. That's the only thing I can really think of. Is I'm not going to try to reinvent the wheel for you.
Yeah. I'll leave it there. See, I was debating whether to take the question, from a interpersonal relationship standpoint or from a political standpoint. I was debating on rather taking it from there or each one. But that is a question. That is a question that I don't even want to answer it off the cuff. I might get with Little Big Nate on that one. I'm gonna keep that question. I might get with Little Big Nate on that one, and we might do a whole show exploring that question because I don't even want to answer it off the cuff.
It's a solid question, and it's a solid question. I don't want to give any disrespect to it whatsoever. I try to at least consider like the woman's perspective, steel man, the woman's point of view as much as possible. And that's the position women are in. That's a question they have to work out. I don't begin to understand how you could really work it out. I'm looking at it like advice.
I'm looking at it like this, and I'm going this route with it. I'm throwing it back to the previous question that I said, and sort of what we was talking about earlier in the show. The previous show that I did, and sort of what we was talking about earlier in the show, where we were talking about Black women, truthfully, not even wanting to get married, not even wanting to be in nuclear families. Basically, they're in a place where they're good with raising children by themselves, but in certain perfect situations, they'll accept a family more than likely on their terms. That's how a lot of them are operating. So if you're talking about what can Black women do to help Black men, I look at that from the perspective of if so many of you are hell bent on, and like I said, it's data that showed that only 25% actually want to be either married or in a long-term relationship. So and so many other anecdotal and data points that we could look at to say that I want to raise children by yourself. So what you could do to help Black men, if you look at it from an individual standpoint, the most suitable man for you, get with him, treat him like you got some damn sense, commit to him, stay with him, and raise better children with him. It does start there. It starts at home. Sort of like the problem with Black boys in school, and they talk about the educational system, but when they run the numbers on it, they do the data on it, they find out Black women read to their children less than any other group. Black kids do less homework than any other group. Black women willfully, intentfully, many of them want to be single mothers, and we know the outcomes of that. So when what can you do for Black men to help Black men? It's you're not even making the right choices by and large that will even benefit Black boys. So how you think Black men turning out? So it's a clusterfuck to when you ask that question. That it needs a lot of unpacking. It needs a whole show. It needs a whole show. But I just laid down the foundation of what that show is going to be. I just laid down the foundation of what that show is going to be.
I want to add something really quickly. I want to add something. Are you familiar with Burfault's law, Robert Burfault? He's I don't even know what to call him, a philosopher, anthropologist or something like that from the 18th century, 1800s. Robert Burfault, born 1876 to 1948. Okay, so Burfault's law maintains that it is the female, not the male, that determines all of the conditions of the animal family. Where the female can derive no benefit from association with the male, no such association takes place, right? That is Robert Burfault's law. It's a law that applies across the animal kingdom, and including people, obviously. Think of it what you want. I know people love to say we not animals, whatever, get over yourself. But the point is that law maintains. And why I bring that up at this time is to highlight that when it comes to the Black family, when it comes to what her question is, what should Black women do to help Black men? You have to buy into the deal. You have to buy into it. And from your own perspective, I'll say this again: the female, not the male, determines all the conditions of the animal family. Where the female can derive no benefit from association with the male, no such association takes place. So when we talk about Black women not wanting to be married, they themselves are acknowledging they see no benefit. That is a woman thing. Now, men can do some things to make themselves obviously the best desirable candidate, but it's not on the men. It is a woman thing. Women have to buy into the deal. Simple.
Good question, though. Good question. A show will be done on that question. All right. I think we back to rolling the not so beautiful bean footage.
When we're thinking through, for instance, intimate partnership, that what we can do is sort of do that Black thing that we do very well, which is that we can creatively reimagine what it looks like for us to have Black love in a world that doesn't want us to have it. For instance, intimate partnership. That
wait, hold on. Let me pause it. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, I wanted to pause it on Beyonce
instead of like for us to have Black love in a world that doesn't want us to have it.
Damn it. Okay, that's good enough. Yeah, I want to pause it on Beyonce and the other chick because I've been pausing it on her and Tarana Burke too many times. So we want to pause it on something else. But she said, well, once she was tearing down the idea and the concept of patriarchy or patriarchal households or whatever the hell, and then she said creatively reimagine. The words people use are important. I really pay attention to the words people use. Creatively reimagine what it is to have Black love. What the fuck is she talking about? What does she mean by that?
Gay.
Creatively reimagine what it is to have Black love. Like that's a dog whistle. I didn't want to just say. I didn't want to go right to gay, but that I mean, I don't know what to do with that. It's like that's like a weird thing to. I want to back up. Make me back up a little bit. Make sure I see how she drove into that. Hold on.
That isn't going to help anybody. It's certainly not going to help Black people.
You're talking about patriarchy isn't going to help anybody. It's not going to help Black people.
To each other when we're thinking through, for instance, intimate partnership, that what we can do is sort of do that Black thing that we do very well, which is that we can creatively reimagine what it looks like for us to have Black love in a world that doesn't want us to have it.
All right. Listen, I know one way they've creatively reimagined Black love. The Sperminator.
Creatively reimagine how to have Black love. What she's talking about is, she said doing the Black thing that we do very well because we circle everything back to blackity black. We Black, y'all. We circle everything back to that. Everything circulates back to that. So she's basically saying we do the Black thing really well, so we can creatively reimagine what it is to have Black love. And I think what she's essentially saying is that Black love doesn't necessarily mean man, woman in house together. It could mean something separate. It could mean women separate doing their own thing with the kids. You do got a man who offered some sperm and he can help out. He can be involved. He could be, the remote dad, the Skype dad, the come by visit dad, every other weekend dad. And that's love. And it's still family, and family is family, and love is love. And we can just do that how we do that. That's what she's basically saying. Right or wrong?
Just you saying those words makes me like you less. Like I feel like don't say those words. Like, oh, people who talk like that drive me crazy. Like, wow,
That's what she's saying.
What you just said? No, you know what you just said? That is everything they cut off the BLM website. You remember that thing about the BLM website? That's it right there. What you just said.
Yeah.
Like, wow, but they're trying to sell it to you in every other way they can do it. That's what they want to get you to fall into. Somehow, some way, they're going to slip you this Mickey.
Damn. You know what? I called it a dog whistle. I'm gonna start calling it slipping a Mickey every time somebody say something where they didn't really say it, but that's what they're saying. I'm still in that one. She slipped a Mickey. She slipped a Mickey in the drink all day.
That's what they do, though. Because we watch this stuff over and over again. You kind of pick up on themes really quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let's talk Beyonce.
Yes.
When she came out,
Now they just hating on Beyonce for the rest of this. I don't really care. We'll speed through it. We'll see if it ain't that much else to talk about for the rest of this, but we'll see. I can't even remember now.
out as a feminist, there was some pretty vicious pushback from some Black feminists.
I don't want to say that legitimate critique is not valid, right? There are legitimate critiques to be had of every artist. She was drawn to feminism because it gave her a language to name some of the things she was going through in her own life. And in 2016, when we got Lemonade, it became really clear why somebody like Beyonce would want to have the sort of arsenal that you get from Black feminism, because Black feminism helps you think about what happens when you're the most powerful chick in the game, you're married to one of the most powerful dudes, and he still won't treat you right because he is intimidated by your power. Feminism is the thing.
Okay, I said that earlier in the show. Like, Jay-Z didn't cheat on Beyonce because he was intimidated by her power. He cheated on her because he could, because he's Jay-Z. That's what happened. Like, don't try to sell a narrative. He's intimidated by her power. Like, come on.
That is such weird chick logic too. Like, you only slept with that girl because I scare you. Like, yeah, babe, that's exactly why. That's exactly what happened. You are absolutely right.
Man. All right. Like I said, I didn't care that much about this part of it because she just, I don't know. But all right, it's 30 seconds left in this clip
that helps you think about that, because I think it's the kind of resource that helps Black girls when you're up late at night wondering why your relationship is not working and you don't want to keep on internalizing it as a problem with you. Black feminism can hold that Black girls have hurt.
You want to know why your relationship is not working and you don't want to internalize it as a problem with you, so you can just believe that he's doing everything that he's doing because he's just so intimidated by you.
Yeah, it's not you. It's his Blackness.
And he's intimidated by her Black womanness. That's what she's saying.
And pains that no one else has ever listened to.
What's up, folks? Thanks for watching.
All right.
Hey, you want to hear something funny? You know, so we're on The Root right now. Guess who is the I think the managing editor of The Root right now? Remember the girl that I put up on screen the last time I was up here? It was a couple days, like a day or two ago. That hard-faced girl. That's who runs The Root right now. It's like a whole corporation of undesirables.
Yeah. I mean, their little spokeswoman right here, especially if that's her real hair, I say she got a little desirability on her. But anyway.
What's up, folks?
Anyway,
thanks for watching.
You only say that because you're looking at her and you're not listening to her.
I know. That's why I'm not playing whatever she's about to say. That's why I don't even want to hear what she's about to say. I'm just saying, if that's her hair, then yeah, there's something desirable about her. That's all. But oh man, no, this was definitely a good one. I had something else in the chamber that I didn't even show you that we may save it for later. Something that Christian Hutchinson sent me about basically an article, or basically a PDF from Goldman Sachs, where they was breaking down all the Black women stats and data and the thing that justified them giving them the whatever billions they're going to give them. It was interesting. And so we may save that one. We may save that one because
I've heard someone make an argument similar to that. Essentially, Black women are a better investment than Black men. I have no comment on that at this moment. I want to hear the argument first, but I'm suspicious. I'm dubious, but we'll see.
You know what? No, it was nothing in there that would make you say that they were a better investment. If a damn sure was nothing in there. Okay, this was the most interesting thing to me. And this is what we're going to get into. We'll probably save this for the next show. They kept showing Black women stats and comparing it to white male stats. basically saying for every one black female business, there's X number of white male business. Black women make X next number of so and so blah 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 compared to white men who make this number of blah 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 blah. It was like, why y'all going that hardcore comparing black women to white men? Shouldn't y'all be bare minimum make a comparison black women to white women? So it was interesting. It was interesting that they were like damn near talking about them like they were men, and basically saying like they need to get parity with white men, which white women don't even have. It was just a weird thing. I didn't understand it. So I'm gonna send you the PDF so you can, you got time to look over and read over. It's like 32 pages long, but so it's it's one you got to sit down, put your feet up, and read a little bit. But it was a lot of interesting stuff in there that we will unpack and we will look at. So yeah, but we'll save that one. We'll save that one. It's yeah, it was a good one. It was a good one. But no, we'll wrap this one. We'll wrap this one up short. We'll wrap this one up short because I got shit I need to do. So so we're gonna call this one a show. And I hate to do this. The views are spiking on up there. We open up the panel. We probably get up to 450 on the views. But damn it. But shout out to everybody in the building. Appreciate each and every one of y'all in the building. Everybody who liked, share, subscribe, hit the super chat, did anything to support the stream in any way, shape, or form. I greatly appreciate you. And with that said, we are out of here. Peace.
Let me say, whoa, hold on.
One thing. Time out. Go ahead.
One thing. I'm queuing up a stream right now. I'm setting it up right now.
Get the link. Let's get the link drop to it.
I'm gonna I'm working on it. One sec. I'm trying to I'm gonna do the Sperminator stuff because I got all this stuff queued up, and I gotta get this off my chest. So we're gonna ask the question: why are so many black women working with the Sperminator? Like, why is it black women are so in love with the Sperminator concept? Because he's becoming a little mini celebrity. It's weird. It's weird. But thank you for having me up here. I'll see you guys in like 5 minutes, and I'm gonna fire this up immediately. So I'll catch you guys.
You don't got the link. You don't got the link ready to drop it in the chat right now?
No, I'm like on my phone. I just started setting it up in the StreamYard.
All right, I'll share it. I'll share it when it drops. So
yeah, it's coming up. 2 seconds.
All right, cool. All right, thanks everybody. We out of here.